Alright, what's up y'all, LakerFan here. As you can see by the title of today's video, we have mistakes to avoid when making builds in NBA 2K26. So, this isn't an attempt to save you money, save you time, and save you the effort of grinding players and stuff that are eventually going to lead to some problems that you may have missed. So I'm trying to flag these things down for you early so that you can actually just pay attention to it when you're creating the build itself for the first time. So, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you do, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, so notice, all that good stuff, and like always, try to 1 to 1,000 likes. First of all, I do want to say, I saw Joe literally uploaded a video an hour before I started recording this. Just for some reference, I was planning to make the video, just so y'all know I'm not like hawking his video ID or anything like that, and I've done this for years as well, so I'm sure he has no problem with the overlap. If you want to check his out after mine as well, feel free to. I already watched it, and we have some different things that we're targeting anyway, so it's not even really the same video by any means. So anyway, let's get straight into this. So I have this segmented. We have like 4 bullet points right here, and then we'll go to the bottom one as well. But as you can see, just making this easy for you guys to digest, be able to just read it all at one time. However you prefer to watch the video, whether it's just listening to me explain things, or if you want to just read stuff as well, whatever you'd like. Anyway, let's get into this. So, number 1, we have standing dunk on players that are 6'4" and shorter. They have announced, and we saw in the builder, that you can't even put standing dunk animations on 6'3", 6'2", 6'1", any of that stuff below it. So do not raise your standing dunk. They honestly should have just disabled it in the first place, but again, this is why we're making a video on mistakes to avoid when making builds. It's possible you could have made a 6'4" with like, I don't know, 65 standing dunk or something like that, and you just wouldn't even be able to get a package on it. So understand, it's a minor thing. Not a lot of people it's going to relate to, because not everybody's making 6'4s or below, and it's honestly a pretty rare build probably in this game in the first place. It's going to be a lot of tall guards, very likely, but just wanted to point that out to anybody who was planning on making a small guard. Don't even put standing dunk on it, simply put. Now, speaking of dunks, also having the dunk required to get contacts, but not the vertical. Don't make this mistake. It's a classic in 2K where you think you're going to get 87 driving dunk and get contact dunks, but as you can see in most cases, it really requires vertical that you don't naturally get with a build. So for instance, with those 87 driving dunks that you're expecting for the pro contact off 2, you need 75 vert to go along with it. The build is not going to by default put your vertical to 75 when you put your dunk to 87. So just keep things like that in mind, and so on and so forth for the next thresholds of like 78 for the pro off 1, 80 for small contacts off 1, all this stuff. It's at the top right here, as you can see. And shout out to 2K Film Room for collecting all these animations and all the data and stuff of just all the spreadsheets. Shout out to Joe Vegas is his name that runs the account. This was really major for him to do all this stuff, and 2K Labs as well. They do the exact same thing. So I just chose to use it in picture form while we're already on Twitter as is anyway. Alright, next up we have double check attributes that are tethered to each other to make sure useless ratings weren't upgraded on accident. So for example, what I have here is our 6'6" lockdown that we can start off with the speed rating, and as you're going to see, there are a lot of tethers that go into this stuff. So by the time you reach 50 speed, it'll be, you know, 15 down on the speed with ball. It'll be 20 down on the ball handle, 15 down on agility, stuff like that. And every rating you go up keeps that 15, 15, and 20 tether right there. So if you end up with a build that has, let's say, 90 speed, but then you go back down to 89 speed instead of having 75 speed ball, which technically actually is a good thing. We'll use perimeter defense as an example. Let's say you were making a guard, right, and you didn't want 60 perimeter defense. It's just an example. There are a lot of different cases that this actually applies to, but you know what? Let's use driving dunk as an example instead. So you can see by the time you had 90 speed, you end up at 30 driving dunk. If you went back down to 89 speed, it's going to keep all of those same tethers. You're going to have a useless extra rating of defensive rebound. You're going to have a useless extra rating of driving dunk, driving leg, close shot. If you wanted to take any of these down of pass accuracy, ball handle, speed with ball, the fact that you went back down on that 89 speed, or even more than that, if you went down like 5, you're still going to have 5 extra useless ratings everywhere, where like you maybe by the time you reach the end of the build didn't even want to have any of those on the build in the first place, and then it's just wasted attributes that you never even knew were wasted attributes, and you could have shaved off some extra points that you didn't really intend to have on the build. Now I'm not telling you don't go 90 speed just because it's going to raise useless things, like, well, not even useless, but you get what I'm saying. If they ended up being useless for your build, I'm not telling you don't make a build with 90 speed just because of something like that. I'm telling you, if you end up deciding instead to go down on the rating itself, you need to also bring the other ratings that got tethered to it down as well, just in case you didn't want them. Alright, next up, we have min-maxing your wingspan and also min-maxing your height. So I'm going to use the height as an example because it's a little bit easier of a concept to understand. Don't be a 6-foot point guard that you could plug all of those exact same attributes into a 6'4", and all you get out of it is just being 4 inches shorter. Like if you're a point guard that has, let's say, 90 speed with ball, has 91 three-pointer, something like that, and you're 6 foot, and all of these ratings that you have could just be copy and pasted over to being a 6'4", don't be 6 foot. It makes no sense to do that. The only reason you should be shorter than 6'4", hypothetically, is to get ratings that a 6'4", even at its maximum potential, cannot get. And same thing applies to wingspan. Don't be having a shorter wingspan than you really just could have had the whole time. I've made this mistake myself one time because when I was playing around with the build, I lowered it just to see what I could get and then forgot to. Now, stupid me, I just end up having to build with 1 inch shorter of a wingspan for like 4 months than I could have had on a pure slasher for that matter. It was literally just to check ball handle to see if I would have had a couple different animations or something like that. So point being is, don't do that. A lot of my mistakes to avoid are mistakes that I've maybe even considered myself making in the past, or on top of that have seen other people make as well. So anyway, moving along. Number 5, be mindful of the game modes you play. Example being low rebound, but you like to play 2v2. If you're a point guard, and let's say you're 6'6" or something like that, right? And even if you're a tall point guard, if you're playing with a stretch big, or if the other team that you're playing against has a stretch big, when your center is contesting his shots because that's his matchup, that leaves only one person on your team and one person on the other team to grab a rebound, and that's you and the person you're guarding. So if the person you're guarding has high rebound and you don't, you're going to be stuck in these situations a lot if the shots are just getting chucked on your big man. And I've been an exploiter of this in my time of playing 2v2 as well. Like, I'll come out here with a pure slasher at the 1 that can't even shoot, and it has like 85 offensive rebound, and then I play with a stretch big at the 2. So the whole concept is we keep the inbound away from everybody so they can't switch anything. We keep those point guards stuck on me, and then the stretch big just gets to shoot all over their big man. And if he doesn't contest the shots, they're wide open. If he does contest the shots, it's me with a pure inside, essentially big man, rebounding with a guard that sometimes, more often than not, has less than 60 rebound, doesn't even have rebound chaser, and it's just a lost cause. They get stuck on the court and can't do anything about it. So, point being, be mindful of the game modes you play. If you want to play 2s a lot and you're a guard, bro, at least have 60 defensive rebound. At least have the bronze badges. I think you should really even consider maybe more than that as well if you're really someone that plays 2s a lot. But by now, you maybe know that if you're watching this video already. But an obvious one would also be if you're making a build and all you play is 1v1, which is rare. Not a lot of people this probably correlates to. But obviously, why have pass accuracy on your build if you're playing 1v1 and that's it? Now, there are tethers again, so take this with a grain of salt. I'm just saying, obviously, what the game forces you to upgrade is going to have to be a given. But don't have anything extra, obviously, if all you do is play 1s. So, anyway, moving along. Number 6. If you are 1 attribute point away, or 2 or 3 or anything like that, from having some of the best animations in the game, upgrade the rating. It is very important that you guys actually achieve something like 75 speed with ball instead of 74. If you were to make a lock build with, like, let's say 89 speed and the tethers, I believe, like, matter of fact, let's just pull it up again real quick. So if you were to make a build with 88 speed, as you can see, that correlates with 73 speed with ball and 68 ball handle. Now, point being, you might luck out and just make a build that has 90 speed and it would force you to have 75 speed with ball and 70 ball handle, which would be the type of kind of caps I'm telling you to actually intentionally hit. But if you decide you want a lock build that has 88 speed, I am telling you, fellas, just put the extra ratings on. It costs you barely anything, and you're literally talking the difference between the best dribble style in the game versus being left with scraps of just like having to deal with the 70s and the 65s and the 60s and stuff like that. And once again, same with ball handle. There's so many animations that are unlocked at 70 ball handle, and then that's also bronze unpluckable, and then 71 is handles for days anyway. If you are so few attribute points away from getting some of the best animations in the game, just spend the points. Now, I'm telling this to you because this is not only like a guidance thing of telling you what I think you should do this in my opinion, but it's also just the fact that some of you might not have even known about it, of like some of the best animations. So I want to bring that to your attention as well, is that like 75 speed with ball is a big number to hit. If you want more information on something like this, I have a video that's probably going live on the same day, which is the best value for every rating in 2K26. So we rank like close shot, driving lay, driving dunk, standing dunk, post control, all this, the best value for all of these. Same with the shooting, the playmaking, the defense, the rebounding, the physicals, everything in their best value spots. So just keep that in mind. But once again, it's also about my opinion of things, is that I think you should absolutely just spend those 2 extra points if you already knew that but didn't want to, or something like that. I cannot stress this one enough. Number 6 is like a true money saver. You're gonna see people with like nearly the same build as you hitting some crazy like added bag to their build of just being able to like swoop back and forth with their dribble moves and like actually bring something to the table offensively as a lockdown, or like, I don't know, even a lot of this can apply to even guards or something like that. But I say locks more so because this is like the most like coincidental correlation there is in the game, of the fact that speed and speed with ball correlate with each other so tightly, and same with ball handle. So just keep that in mind, man. Like, a lot of these just shaving points of barely being away from something is very important to actually hit. Now, next up, we have, once again, shaving points of something that's important to hit. We have number 7, takeover requirements. Make sure you don't miss out on things like Rim Guardian because of 1 block rating. My big example of this is that, or like here, so example being at the bottom right here, 84 block is the cap for Silver Paint Patroller. Normally, and in previous videos of games like 2K25, stuff like that, I've said things like 84 being a good, value threshold point, because that's what it is for Paint Patroller last year as well. But in this game, they've added a new kind of threshold, if you will, where 85 block and 80 interior defense in tandem with each other is what you need to be able to get the Rim Guardian takeover. Or example being 2, this was on the Sharp Lock build that you just saw earlier, and I gotta say that Sharp Lock build is some big info. Like, there's so many things that it just has a perfect storm of like all the best value all cultivating into just one build. But first example that I said right here was the tether of 89 3-pointer. Let's say you wanted a build that got 89 3 and it just puts you at 79 by default. You want to put 1 more point on your mid-range. That will unlock the sharpshooter takeover of just being able to boost your ability to shoot standstill shots and off the dribble, and just the fact that it unlocks a whole lot of takeover slots of like, the attributes that decide to get boosted. So it's well worth. It's one of the best takeovers probably in the game, and then on top of that too, it costs you 1 mid-range, bro. Just do it. It's so close. And again, that I can't stress enough for Rim Guardian either. Rim Guardian is going to be the rim protector takeover that also has See the Future built into it too. So it's like a glass take and a rim take combined. And these 2 takes are probably some of the best in the game. And I'm not even talking about other ones in specific of like other attribute ratings that just coincidentally kind of fit a lot of different good value points as well. So just understand, you could be missing out on a lot of these, because there's a ton of people who are going to be going for that 89 3-pointer to get gold set shot specialist and silver limitless, but then forget to get 1 more mid-range rating, and now they just can't get a sharp takeover. This is truly something to miss out on, and it would hurt. And same goes for if you're a big man that has 84 block, but you could have had 85. If you already had 82 interior defense or something like that for like a decent spot to put your interior off the fact that you get post move lockdown, having 84 block to go with it would be pretty rough. I can't lie to you. Like, you really want that 85. It's 1 more point, and it's one of the best takeovers in the game. And even if it's not something that is your primary focus, to have the option to just put it on at any point is what I think is truly important. So that was kind of our last one. Technically, our last one is an honorable mention. Don't take the bait if you're a guard on the Steve Francis signature size up that has been in the game for years and years and years. You might have seen it in someone's video, someone's stream, that Steve Francis is like equipable at some point. But the problem is they changed the actual animation itself. It doesn't do the same animation anymore, and it's no longer one of the best. It's not even good. So don't fall for the bait on some animations just because of the name brand. Trust either A, if you want to put in the time, feel free to. I know everybody says, don't copy YouTubers. I don't copy YouTubers. Blah, 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 blah. But truth be told, I've been putting in a lot of time, and in my opinion, I'll have a lot of things that I could bring to the table for you guys with like the floaters, the dribble styles, stuff like that. You might see Kyrie dribble style and you played 2K24 and you're like, oh man, Kyrie dribble style, it's probably so good. It was in 2K24. Well, it's not. Like, it's decent, but it's not like it was back in 24. There's a lot of things that just don't fall for the name brand value because you've seen it in a previous 2K and you think that's the soup. Like Sabonis floater again in 24. Though it is still good in its own different way, like now, it's nowhere near the same animation or anything like that. So there's a lot of things that just don't fall for the name brand. That's pretty much what I'm getting at. And in this case, it's especially Steve Francis because it went from one of the best SIGs in the game to not even really relevant by any means. So it's essentially been removed in a way. But anyway, that's all for video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new to noties, all good stuff. Like always, try this one to 1,000 likes. On this one, let's actually go for 2,000 in specific. This is a pretty good upload. And again, shout out to Joe. If you want to check out his video of, it's a lot of different things. Like I touched base on a lot of different stuff that he didn't mention, and he touched base on a lot of stuff that I didn't mention. So feel free to, if you want to check that out as well. But I appreciate y'all watching this one. If you made it to the end of this video, put value in the comments. Church Sports mail way through. Also, in case you guys didn't know, I'm teaming up with NBA 2K Lab again this year, and like always, they have the best statistical jump shots on their website. Put a ton of time into the labbing of those, and on top of that, have exact visual cues now for those jump shots they recommend to you. So first, they find the exact best jump shots and put them into the data that you can use if you buy the premium. Then, on top of that too, they have the ability to even just practice the jump shot if you don't want to sit in the my court, wait for a ball return, or for that matter, even have to track down your own ball. And if you're not someone that wants to use the most meta jump shot of like the best screen window and the absolute fastest, what you can do is plug your controller into your PC and shoot 10 shots of what feels comfortable to you, and they'll recommend you one of the jump shots that they've created as well. And again, this is a huge feature right here, the ability to take one of the custom jump shots they've recommended to you and find the exact release point of it and know exactly when to let go of your button on the controller or when to let go of the ball in your player's hands, obviously. And on top of that too, even do motion style tests, and they've got rankings of a ton of dribble moves. So if you want to check this out, like I said, go to NBA2KLab.com or the link in my description and put code LAKER for your promo code. This is going to save you about $1 per month or up to $2 depending on what length of subscription you decide to get. So when you come over to the website, you can hit the sign up tab, come over to the length of subscription you'd like to sign up for, and then hit register. And then when you do hit register, it'll create a coupon code, and you just are going to put in code LAKER right here if you'd like to as well. Now you guys absolutely feel free to sign up for whatever length of subscription you would like to do, but if you want to help me out, I make a percentage based off of the initial subscription price that you pay. So for instance, if you were to get the monthly, I'd only make a percentage off the $7.99, but if you were to do the yearly, I'd make the percentage off of that. So again, feel free to do whatever you'd like to. I don't want to pressure you any which way, but if you want to help me out just in specific, I'd really appreciate that as well. So I hope y'all enjoying the video. Let's get right back to it, but one last time, if you want to subscribe to the NBA 2K Lab Premium, just use code LAKER at checkout for 20% off. Anyway, that's all. Let's get back to the video now. Anyway, I hope you guys also appreciate this style somewhat. I know it's like a low effort thing of like, oh, I was in my notes and I just like wrote stuff down and now I just didn't really edit any visuals or anything like that, but like I think I do a decent enough job at explaining things to you guys or pulling them up if I really feel like I need to pull something like contact dunk requirements or the takeovers and stuff like that, or obviously, you know, like the stuff that we really use that sharp lock for as an example in this as well. So just let me know if you like this style or if you think I do need to like over edit and stuff, but I would like to think that the way I bring these videos to you guys is plenty decent as far as like connecting on like a one-to-one kind of basis right here and just getting good useful information, and also it just being easier for me to streamline these things to you and not putting like 4 hours of effort into like, you know, a video that is like this. So anyway, I already spent enough crazy amount of time editing up the cutting of like the dribble styles and floaters and all that stuff. I've been literally face to monitor for all but probably an hour ever since I got home or sleeping, something like that. It's just me doing a fantasy draft with my dad in football. So that's my time away from my computer monitor. So anyway, that's all for video. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I will try and not burn myself out too hard or anything like that, but it's this time of year, man. You know how it is. I'm an addict to this stuff, so it is what it is. I just gotta be face to monitor, and that's just how it is for me. But anyway, that's all for video. Hope y'all enjoyed. None of that. Take it easy, man. Peace.